Hey guys, I'm gonna bring y'all What If Naruto Was White Wolf, and so basically this would be a Naruto Neglectic fanfic, with Naruto being the eldest of three siblings of the Namikaze Uzumaki clan. So yeah, firstly, Naruto will be intelligent, as in Nara level intelligence, but no one will know this, as because everyone either score him or simply ignores him. Also, also his name will be uh Kaikidunzum, um, or call Paul Naruto. For for clothes, Naruto won't be wearing that idiot orange hit me jumpsuit. So he will wear basically um, black and blue. Um, his hair will still be yellow as always, but with blue white tips. His eyes will be a deep blue. As for clothes, it'll basically be black and blue with with a wolf head in the place of the other marks, scrolls, pouches, and places of the kunai on the belt. And in the place of the sword will places of the sword he will have a katana. Um, the katana is basically like silver edge with a black case with a blue handle, with a blue wrap handle. This, however, is no simple katana, as it was once known as a Zanpato, crafted by the ancient Uzumaki as a soul-bound weapon. Over the years, less and less Uzumaki children were able to acquire them, and the art were eventually lost to time. This results in one single blade left that has been shown to Naruto to acquire it and awaken his ancient power. A Zanpato such as this has three forms. The first is its seal form, like uh, it's a silver farm. The second is first release Shikai, like two sickles. Um, the third and final state is the second release a Bankai. Um, that's with a dual-headed scythe. Each Zanpato has three names and personality, though they are still a part of their owner as a duo in both fighting and everyday life. The name of Naruto Zanpato is Iron no Fuin, Eternal Winter. What, Eon no Fool? I don't know if I said that right. I'm sorry. Uh, as for his Bankai release, it is called Yeah No Fool No Archie Eternal Winter Storm. In his Zen Bottle Spirit, uh his Zen Bottle Spirit basically is like a female wolf with long claws and like a sight. Yes, well, like she's wearing a blue dress, like blue on the top, purple at the bottom, and it's a long dress with her tails and the tails that are white with blue and purple eyes. As for Naruto's ninja skills, he has inherited everything from an ancient wolf that was called for him from the same place where he found his Zanpato. This ancient wolf is called the immortal Iris Wolf of the White Winter. He is an immortal wolf, master of his Sage Mode. Naruto inherits all of the necessary ninja skills from the academy. Three basic shuriken handling, kunai handling, as well as use of the sword. The ninjutsu of Sutan, Futan, and Raiten. He is the one. Oh, wait, so basically, water, wind, and lightning. He is the one who guides Naruto before the circumstance of their parting into becoming a master of sealing beyond both his father and mother. Also, he could complete his final greatest wish. He is also the one who taught him to control and master his wind, water, and lightning Keketora, known only to them as winter release. Naruto inherits his own personal form of sage art that are always active. The markings from his sage mark looks like a wolf, basically. Like you see how the wolf you see now, that's how his H smart marking is gonna look like. Sorry about that. Chapter 1, it all starts. Here's the elemental nation in the land of fire with its nature village. The village hidden in the leaves or better known as Konoha. On the highest peak beyond Konoha, we find a 4-year-old boy sitting on his own enjoying the wind. He is Naruto Uzumaki no Mikaze. Though it's a surname he is come to dislike because of his family who basically completely abandoned him by now. It all started 2 years ago when his mother basically started ignoring him in favor of his two siblings. After 2 months, Naruto realized that he pretty much doesn't have a place in that family. Anyone but he still had hope. One thing should be known about Naruto, and that is even though he is young, he is incredibly smart. So figuring out the past and how his parents fawned over his sibling wasn't all that hard. With his intelligence, it was easy for him to unlock his chakra, hoping it would be enough to impress his parents. But also, it was simply shrugged. Oh, but at last, it was simply shrugged. Oh, one thing that has been bothering him for a while now is the fact that a soft voice within his head has been calling him every few days, and the time in between has been getting shorter and shorter lately, with the voice getting louder. Lying down on his back and closing his eyes, he thought back to the event of the past. He's been able to piece together through 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 hearsay and documents he managed to find in his father's office and his study at home flashback. 4 years ago in the village hidden in the leaves, the nine-tailed fox was released from his cell and was controlled to go on a rampage and nearly destroyed the village. The seal was weakened due to the fact that the host, or otherwise known as Jinchuriki, was given birth. The woman that was in labor was called Uzumaki Kushina. She gave birth to three beautiful children. The eldest boy called Naruto, the middle child called girl called Mito, and lastly the youngest of them, a boy called Mima. The oldest of the triplets had bright blonde hair, the bluest eyes you have ever seen. The middle child had lovely red hair and dark bluish purplish eyes with three whisker marks on each cheek, and the youngest of the three had dark red hair, pure purple eyes, with three whisker marks on each cheek. Wishing she was giving birth to her children, her husband was right there with her, keeping the nine-tailed fox at bay in the seal due to the fact that the seal would be awakening and the nine-tailed fox could escape. Her husband was called Namikaze Minato, the fourth Hokage, otherwise known as the Yellow Flash, due to his bright blonde hair and his well-known jutsu that makes him move faster than sound. Later at night, on the 10th of October, the triplets were born. The now new complete family were happy, but not for long, because Minato wasn't concentrating on the seal anymore because the children were born. Right after Kishina finished giving birth, a masked man took advantage of the situation, using his shotgun to kill the people who were watching over the young woman and her children, so the seal was still weakened. But the masked man attacked and freed the Nine Tails. With the Nine Tails fox under his control, he immediately set it loose upon the nearby village, and it started to destroy everything in its path. Kushina was holding Mita and Mima. Winston and Minato was holding their eldest, Naruto. Minato moved to Kushina and grabbed onto her and then used his Harashin jutsu to move to their house. And he kissed his wife and took his two youngest children and said goodbye, basically giving her the eldest. Kushina knew what he was going to do. He was going to split the nine-tailed fox into its yin and yang half, then seal them into their youngest two children. She tried to stop him, but he hurried away before she could argue. So the new mother decided to feed the eldest of her three, in which her husband was fighting the beast. As she did that, she made a bond between the two of them, as mother and children should. Mental Horizon, the nine-tailed fox, and placed a seal on his head and then teleported the two of them away from the village. He placed his youngest two side by side on the created altar in their blankets. He got ready for the sealing. Suddenly, the third Hokage, Sarutobi, Horizon arrived and pushed Minato out of the way, put up the barrier so Minato could not re-enter. Sarutobi did this because he saw that Minato was going to use a special seal that would seal the Nine-Tails Fox into his two youngest and kill him in the process. So Sarutobi decided to use the seal instead because he had just lost his wife, who was one of the nurse during Kushina labor. So he had no one waiting for him at home. He just wanted to be at peace with his lovely wife. Sarutobi finished his seals, and the Shinigami came and ripped the Nine-Tailed Fox soul into two halves, sealing one half into each child. The seal was finished as Sarutobi was crying. He had just sealed the Nine-Tailed Fox halves into two innocent children. The Shinigami told the old man that it was time to go. So Sarutobi said goodbye to Minato and with a flash of white light, the old man and the Shinigami were gone. The barrier around the two children was now gone, so Minato shunshin to them, picked them up, and checked the seals. Hiruzen had really done a splendid job, so he wouldn't have to redo the seal. Minato haraned back to his house with his two children in his arms. Kushina was sleeping on the bed with Naruto. Minato placed the two youngest on the bed with Kushina and picked up Naruto and laid him down in the crib. Minato, calming voice, Kushina, honey, wake up. You still need to feed your two youngest. In a shocked voice, Minato, how are you still here? I thought you were going to seal the Nine-Tailed Fox into the two. I was, but Hiruzen came and said that he should do it before I could stop him. He put up a barrier. He sealed the Nine-Tailed Fox Fox halves into Mito and Mema. Ying half into Mito, Yang half into Mema. Kushina and Minato felt sad for the loss of the third Hokage. Kushina, he wanted us to live, to raise the children together, he said. He saved the entire village from the Nine-Tailed Fox by sealing it away. He is a true hero. You're right, Minato. Hiruzen is a hero. So Kushina, you need to feed the two. Kushina immediately picked up the two and another bond formed, but this time much stronger. After a bit, Minato joined them on the bed while forgetting Naruto, who was sleeping nearby. Getting up, Naruto stretched his young body from a bit before he started walking down the Hokage monument. Oh my God, the Hokage mountain towards his home, where he doesn't even have a proper room at this point. While walking back, he thought to how stupid his family in this village was, to not even be able to recognize the real attacker and not the Nine-Tailed Fox. Uchiha Obito, that's the attacker that set the Nine-Tailed Fox free and control it with the Sharingan. I mean, come on. He's the only Uchiha not truly accounted for these last 10 years, as well as having only one eye like the attacker. His body was never even found. Naruto often gets home late, but his parents obviously don't care about him at this point, same as with his so-called godparents, Jiraiya and Tsunade, other Sunnings. In fact, he knows the real reason his parents no longer pay attention and care for him is because because of the so-called prophecy Jiraiya brought, stating the child of prophecy was born. Oh no. Real time. Hold on. This stupid prophecy read something like this: a child born on the 10th from Blondie and Red, with an ancient power, transversing the land and guided by ancients who will either bring balance to the world or its destruction. The heart is the key, power the door, and hope or despair what lies beyond. Bunch of morons actually believed it was the power of the Nine Tails, but Naruto knows better. Wielding and using it is two very different concepts. After all, using a power not yours is far from wielding a power truly trained and mastered by yourself. Besides, he still doesn't like his family because obviously his siblings are already arrogant from all the praise they get, and his parents actually had a choice regarding his treatment, even with the privacy. Yet they still choose to do it. When he got home, he could see all over. He could see people all over, seeing as it is his siblings, the hero's Okana birthday today. He as well, but not like anyone cares for that. For that, when he got inside the compound, he decided to not enter the party scene, as there is nothing for him there anyways. Using his large chakra reserves, even for Uzumaki, he simply walked up the walls and lied down on the roof under the partly cloudy sky. Listening to the party down below only made him feel sickened for having such a family, as even now he could hear the lavish but pointless praise his siblings getting from his parents and godparents. After a while, he could hear Minto and Kushina silencing everyone for an announcement. Though he had an idea of what was to come, it was still a very bitter pill to swallow nonetheless, as he heard his parents basically disown him. Minto: everyone, I thank you for coming to my children's birthday party today. Now, me and my wife have spoken, and we decided to make Mima the heir to the Namikaze clan, Kishina, and Mito the heir of the Uzumaki clan. Listening to them proclaiming it so loudly and happy struck a wound deep in his heart that would probably never heal, and hearing his siblings, godparents, and the various clans cheering only made it worse. So he got up and went down the wall to a storage room where all his stuff is kept. Reaching there, he fished out an old storage scroll and stored everything he needed for leaving in it. Jumping out the window, he made his way to the village center and stealthily broke into some shops, looting their food, medical supplies, weapons like shuriken and kunai, and finally clothes. Barely 10 minutes had passed and he was well on his way out of the village via the Hokage mountain. He knows so well, besides he now has a voice in his head guiding him as clear as day to its location. Yeah, that's right. When the announcement was made, the voice finally cleared up and told him to go to where it is hurriedly, as it doesn't have much time left. Having no other plans for his current situation, he gathered his stuff and set off. If Naruto had stayed longer on the roof, he would have realized it had become eerily quiet, with only whisper here and there, as people were relaying in shock at a single question that was asked by one of the Jonins, who was close to the Hokage and his family. It would become a question that would haunt them from years to come. Johnny, Hokage-sama, yes, Johnny. What about your eldest? What about Naruto? Alright, guys, I'm going to end that off here. If you do like it, please leave a like, leave a comment. Part 2 is going to come real soon. So, yeah, peace.